Pavel Tsatsouline spent years building strength into Soviet soldiers whose knees took punishment most people will never know. Marching under load, dropping out of vehicles, squatting in trenches for hours. And here's the thing that ought to stop you cold. Those men didn't blow their knees out. The Soviet system had a way of building knees that lasted, and it had almost nothing in common with what we do here. No ice, no braces, no resting it until it feels better and then tweaking it again the second you move wrong. What they used instead were holds. Specific positions you sink into and stay in under hard tension that teach the muscles around the knee to do their job again. The 5 I'm about to show you take 15 minutes. They need no equipment. And if your knees ache going downstairs, complain when you stand up, or feel like they might buckle on you, these will do more than any stretch or any pill ever will. And let me tell you the one idea that makes all of this work, because it goes against everything you've been told. Your knee is almost never the actual problem. The knee is a hinge stuck between two joints, your hip above it and your ankle below it. And when those two stop doing their share, the knee gets crushed in the middle, doing work it was never built for. Pavel's whole approach is about tension and control, teaching the muscles that protect the knee to switch on hard, on command. That's what these holds train. So let's get into them. The first one is the wall sit, done the hardstyle way. You've probably seen a wall sit. You've probably done one as a kid, but you've never done it like this because the hardstyle version isn't about gritting your teeth and waiting out a timer. It's about maximum tension on purpose. Here's why it comes first. The muscle on the front of your thigh, the quad, is the knee's primary shock absorber. When it's weak or slow to fire, every step sends force straight into the joint instead of into the muscle. Wake the quad up and the knee stops taking the hit. Here's how you do it. Stand with your back flat against a wall, then walk your feet out and slide down until your thighs are as close to parallel to the floor as you can manage. Knees stacked right over your ankles, not drifting past your toes. Now here's the hardstyle part. Drive your heels into the floor. Squeeze your thighs as hard as you possibly can and brace your stomach like you're about to take a punch. Don't just sit there, push. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds of real effort. Rest a minute, 3 rounds. Most people make 2 mistakes. The first is sliding too low too soon, letting the knees scream because the angle's too deep for where they are right now. If it hurts in the joint, come up higher. A shallower sit that's pain-free beats a deep one that aggravates things. The second mistake is going passive, just hanging on the wall waiting for the burn to end. The burn isn't the enemy, the tension is the point. If you can hold this for 2 lazy minutes, you're not pushing hard enough. If a full wall sit is too much, start higher. Just a slight bend in the knees and lower a little more each week as the quad gets stronger. This one hold, done consistently, rebuilds the exact muscle that decides whether your knee gets protected or punished every time you move. The second hold is the split squat hold, and this is where we start fixing the imbalance that's quietly destroying one knee faster than the other. Almost everyone is stronger on one leg. You favor it without knowing it. Getting out of a chair, climbing stairs, pushing up off the floor. Over the years, that weaker leg falls further behind and the knee on that side ends up unstable and aching. Training one leg at a time is the only way to find that gap and close it. Here's the setup. Step 1 foot forward into a staggered stance, like a lunge, with most of your weight on the front leg and just the toe of the back foot resting on the floor for balance. Now lower straight down until your front thigh is around parallel and your back knee hovers just above the ground. And stop there. Hold it. Front heel pressing hard into the floor, front knee tracking in line with your foot, chest tall. 20 to 30 seconds, then switch legs. 2 rounds each side, and give your weaker side an extra round. That's the one that needs it. The big mistake here is letting the front knee cave inward toward the other leg. That inward collapse is one of the most common drivers of knee pain there is. Think about driving that knee out, keeping it pointed the same direction as your toes. The second mistake is dumping your weight onto the back leg. The front leg is doing the work, the back foot is a kickstand, nothing more. If balance is the problem, hold a door frame or chair with one hand. As you get stronger, you'll need it less, and the day you notice your 2 legs finally feel equal is the day your knee pain usually starts to fade. The third hold comes straight out of the way the human body was designed to rest, and it's the one that addresses what's happening below the knee, at the ankle. The deep squat hold. Now stay with me, because if your ankles are stiff, and after years in shoes and chairs, almost everyone's are, your knees are paying the price for it. When the ankle can't bend, the knee bends extra to make up the difference, and that extra is exactly the stress that wears it down. Free up the ankle, and you take a load off the knee with every step. Drop down into the deepest squat you can manage, feet about shoulder width, toes turned slightly out, and do everything you can to keep your heels glued to the floor. Sink your hips down toward your ankles. If you can get low, hold there and let your body weight gently press your ankles into a deeper bend. 60 seconds to start, building toward 2 or 3 minutes over the coming weeks. Here's the honest part. A lot of you won't be able to do this without your heels popping up or you're falling backward. And that's not a failure, that's the diagnosis. It means your ankles are exactly as stiff as I'm describing. And this is the fix. Hold onto a door frame or a sturdy piece of furniture in front of you, and use your arms to support some of your weight while you sink down with your heels staying down. Drive those heels into the floor like you're trying to leave a print. Week by week, the ankle gives a little more, sinks a little deeper, and the knee above it finally gets the break it's been needing for years. Now, before I show you the fourth hold, let me tell you about something that's helped a lot of people in your situation. If your knees are just one piece of a bigger picture, stiff hips, an achy back, a body that doesn't move the way it used to, I created a 30-day program called Reboot Your Body, and it's built to take you from wherever you are right now and walk you step by step through a daily plan that rebuilds your movement and your strength. No gym, no equipment, no guesswork. We're talking about getting down on the floor with your kids or your grandkids and back up without a struggle. Going down a flight of stairs without that jolt of pain in your knee. Getting through your whole day without that ache following you around. The link is in the description below if you want to check it out. It's the same kind of methodology I'm showing you here, laid out as a complete plan you don't have to think about. All right, back to it. The fourth hold is the one almost nobody does, and it protects the part of the knee that everyone ignores until it's too late. The tibialis wall hold. The tibialis is the muscle running down the front of your shin, and it's the one that controls how your foot and lower leg decelerate every time your heel hits the ground. When it's weak, your knee absorbs all that braking force instead, step after step, all day long. Pavel's whole philosophy is that you build the supporting structures, not just the showy ones, and this is the supporting muscle the knee depends on most. Here's how you do it. Stand with your back and butt against a wall, then walk your feet out about a foot or so in front of you, heels planted. Keeping your heels down, pull your toes and the balls of your feet up toward your shins as high as you can, and hold them there. You'll feel the front of your shins light up fast. Squeeze hard, hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Lower with control, and repeat for 3 rounds. The main mistake is rushing, flapping the feet up and down instead of holding the contraction. This is an isometric hold. The strength is built in the holding, not the flapping. The other mistake is leaning forward off the wall, which takes the shins out of it. Keep your weight back against the wall so the only thing working is the front of your lower legs. If the full version burns out too fast, step your feet in closer to the wall to make it easier and walk them out as you get stronger. Strong shins are the brakes your knees have been missing, and almost no one trains them. The fifth hold ties the whole chain together, and it's the one the old Soviet wrestlers used to keep their hips and knees working as a single unit. The Cossack hold. By now you've woken up the quad, balanced your 2 legs, freed your ankles, and strengthened your shins. This is where your knee learns to handle the one thing real life constantly demands, and that nothing else on this list trains, moving sideways under control. Take a wide stance, much wider than your shoulders. Then shift your weight to one side, bending that knee and sinking down over it while the other leg stays straight out to the side with the toes pulled up toward the ceiling. The heel of your bent leg stays glued to the floor. Chest as tall as you can keep it. Sink as low as you safely can and hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Then shift across to the other side. 2 rounds each side, working back and forth. The mistakes here are the same villains as before. The bent knee caving inward, drive it out over your foot. The heel lifting, keep it down, and rounding the back to reach lower. Instead, hold your hands together in front of your chest as a counterweight, and stay tall. If the full Cossack is too aggressive right now, hold a door frame with the opposite hand, and take some weight through your arm, sinking only as far as feels strong, not painful. This hold loads the inside and outside of the knee in a way ordinary forward movement never does. And a knee that's strong side to side is a knee that doesn't buckle when life moves you in a direction you didn't plan for. So here's how you put all 5 together into a routine you can do 3 times a week. You start with the Hardstyle wall sit. 3 rounds of 20 to 30 seconds, maximum tension, a minute of rest between rounds. Wake the quad up first. From there, the split squat hold, 20 to 30 seconds per leg, 2 rounds each side, and an extra round on your weaker leg. Then the deep squat hold, 60 seconds to start, working longer over time to open the ankles. Then the Tibialis wall hold, 3 rounds of 20 to 30 seconds to build your brakes. And you finish with the Cossack hold, 20 to 30 seconds per side, 2 rounds for the side-to-side strength that ties it all together. The whole session takes about 15 minutes. Within the first week, you'll feel a difference. Stairs that don't bite quite as hard, a little more steadiness when you stand. Within a month, the knee that's been nagging you starts to quiet down. Not because you wrapped it or rested it, but because you finally rebuilt everything around it that was supposed to be protecting it all along. That's the Soviet method. It doesn't chase the pain around the joint. It fixes the hip above and the ankle below and the muscles on every side, until the knee in the middle finally gets to stop compensating. No equipment, no gym, no surgery, no endless appointments, 5 holds, 15 minutes, 3 times a week. If you want a complete day-by-day plan that takes the guesswork out of all of this, head to the link in the description and grab Reboot Your Body. And if this video helped you, hit subscribe, because there are a lot more of these coming. Now stop the video, find a wall, and slide down into that first hold. Push hard. The clock starts now.